Hey, I'm Amy and welcome back. Today I'm talking about the new natural disaster global warming movie GEOSTORM. Going into this movie, I knew pretty much what it was going to be about. It felt very much like it was going to be a tech-based kind of day after tomorrow movie, just instead of with every country getting covered in snow, it's just different types of extreme weather, which I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I really liked Day After Tomorrow, mostly because of Jake Gyllenhaal, but it's also the movie that kind of got me really thinking about global warming and really interested in that kind of science and learning about protecting the environment and stuff like that. So it has a special place in my heart. So I was like, this movie might be perfect for me to see, even though it's more about a machine that's protecting the environment, destroying the environment. GeoStorm's main stars are Gerard Butler and Jim Sturgis, who I know primarily from the Beatles musical Across the Universe. And if you watched my starters review yesterday, that's pretty much what I called him because I could not remember his name off the top of my head. But I feel like both of them did pretty decent jobs in this. Definitely not their best work, but it's still pretty much just a basic run-of-the-mill natural disaster kind of movie. But the standout for me in this, for some weird reason, was the girl who played Gerard Butler's daughter, Hannah. I have no idea how to pronounce her name. It's like Talitha Bateman or something like that. She just did a fantastic job though. If you don't know what GeoStorm is about, it's pretty much about this scientist slash mechanic named Jake Lawson who creates this series of satellites that go up into space and basically surround Earth like an atmosphere to stop different types of natural disasters from happening, which would be really cool to have, especially with all of the hurricanes that have been happening recently, as long as it doesn't do what happens in the movie, which is get hacked and a virus is implanted and pretty much starts destroying Earth with a bunch of natural disasters. I have one nitpicky thing about this movie, and it's not a perfect movie by any means whatsoever, but in a lot of scenes in this movie, the actors are either conveying very well through their emotions and facial expressions what is being kind of implied and that the audience should infer for themselves, or there's just subtle hints or just subtext throughout the dialogue that or what the actors are saying that you really should be able to pick up on, even just common sense. But the script goes ahead and says what is being implied anyways, but that's just something kind of nitpicky for me because we all know my favorite rule of cinema is show don't tell, and that's pretty much just breaking the entire thing. But it kind of works because the daughter of Gerard Butler narrates basically the kind of background of why this satellite is up in the air over top of footage that's either real or somewhat doctored to kind of give the illusion that these natural disasters are happening everywhere. And it's only a couple years in the future. It's like a year and a half in the future when this movie starts. The movie does get very predictable at times, just a very predictable natural disaster kind of movie. A very predictable space scene where they go out in space and one of them is probably going to get lost or start drifting away. Something's going to happen with them. The villain gets kind of predictable at one point. You think it's one person, but then it's somebody else, and it's totally obvious who that person is once they start talking about this person or about who they think is doing this. Even though it has all of this predictable stuff that happens, the ending is, albeit predictable, but it's also a very happy and feel-good ending, which is, it was nice to kind of see a happy ending like this where everything is destroyed, but they saved the planet anyways. Spoiler alert, but you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna save the planet. My last thought on this movie is something that I found very funny and something that I feel like a lot of people who are in on the joke kind of would have found funny as well. There's a scene when Gerard Butler's character comes back to the space station for the first time in a couple of years, and he's introduced to his new team. And there's one character on there who is in the British show The Misfits, so he is very gung-ho, has a very hard British accent. I don't know exactly what region it was from. I could look it up on IMDb. But he's very pro-England and makes fun of Gerard Butler's character for being American and doesn't really trust him. But then Gerard Butler says, myself and my brother were born in the UK. I feel like that little line was something either the director had them stick in there or the writers just put in there as a backup in case Jim Sturgis or Gerard Butler's accents came out. Like Gerard Butler's Scottish and Jim Sturgis is from London, so they're gonna have their accents maybe slip out. They did fairly good American accents, but there were some points where they were kind of yelling or like kind of upset a little bit, and their accents just slipped through a tiny bit. So I feel like that's something that they did as kind of a backup. Overall, I probably would not watch this movie again unless it was just on TV and there was nothing else for me to watch. I mean, it doesn't really live up to what the trailers were showing it as. Like, I mean, this scene, and this is the scene that they're using for the poster. It's not even a real scene in the movie. Nothing like this even happens. Gerard Butler is not on the planet when any of the natural disasters occur, except for the one that happens at the very beginning of the movie that basically sends him up into the space station anyways. So if you're a fan of global warming, natural disaster, action type movies, this is a movie for you. But it's definitely not something I would add to my collection because I already have The Day After Tomorrow in my collection. And I love that movie a lot. I've seen it probably a dozen or more times. It's not the best movie, but it still holds a very good, very, very special place in my heart. But as always, those are my thoughts and opinions. I would love to know yours in the comments down below. What did you think of GeoStorm if you've seen it? I know it hasn't been getting a great review from a lot of critics, but I would still love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Quick announcement before I sign off here. I wanted to do a Stranger Things Season 1 recap for today's video, but I really wasn't feeling the video as I was making it. I didn't want to just put out a video to put out a video, even if I thought it was crap. So I did this and I really enjoyed doing this video instead, but I really want to do something for Stranger Things Season 2 when it comes out. And I'm not able to do a full video because I have a bunch of stuff going on this weekend when the show premieres on Netflix. But I will be doing a review of every single episode of Season 2 of Stranger Things exclusively on Stardust. You can find that on my Stardust account, or I post the videos to my Twitter as well. But if you want to see my reactions and thoughts on each episode of Stranger Things Season 2, you can check that out over there. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, whoever you are. Let me know who you are in the comments down below and let's be friends. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe if you're new because I love talking movies, TV shows, all of that nerdy fun stuff, and I would love for you to join me. So stick around and I'll see you next time. Bye!